Hey guys! Welcome everybody. This is Game Stuff Podcast, the weekly game hangout where two guys who make video games for a living talk about games for some reason.
Yeah, and those two guys are Brad Snyder.
And my lovely co-host over here, Sean Crick.
And my shitty assistant, Brad Snyder.
This is episode 10. Welcome, everybody. We made it to 10 episodes.
Oh, man.
I don't know if that's a milestone, but I would like to think that like when you get to like a nice even round number, like 10, there's like something to celebrate.
I think so. I've never made it to 10 of anything.
Like
10 feet tall.
10 years old. Oh, 10 feet tall. I always wanted to be like at least 7, and I didn't make it. I got stuck at 6.
Yeah, I got stuck right at 6. And it's weird. It's like this natural cutoff. Just boom, you can't go past that.
Yeah, it's like humans really don't get past that unless you're a basketball guy.
And girls are out there.
Do you think if you start playing basketball when you're a kid, you just naturally get taller?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're always like stretching out to get the hoop.
That's my problem. I didn't play basketball, so I didn't get taller.
Yeah, you played fucking blitzball.
Blitzball in my
You tried to play blitzball, the most boring video game sport in real life, and guess what? It was even more boring.
I made up a real life version of
It's a turn-based
brought
game.
Sean over to my house and we played it. It was terrible.
No, we played it at your family reunion where I came in and
Is that because I was just bored?
I won money at your family reunion because I kicked ass at Quates and I took away the grand prize.
If you're wondering, sometimes we talk a little bit too much about stuff in this
and
show.
not enough about games.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't always relate to video games, but we try to keep it mostly about video games. Now, Sean, there's a reason why 10 is kind of a special episode.
Is there?
We're doing the video game reward game stuff drawing today.
Giveaway.
It's
drawing
a
giveaway.
A drawing giveaway. So we have set up right now a random number generator. And there's 2 giveaways that we're going to be doing today live on the air. This is kind of exciting. For all you out there listening, I'm sure you're getting like really jittery.
Little known fact.
A little crazy right now.
Most random number generators are not actually fully random.
What?
They are pseudo-random number generators.
Oh my god!
Because given a seed, they will always have a set number of outcomes.
Yeah, 10 outcomes. 10 numbers.
No. I'm saying even with more complex random number generators, actually, it's a really hard problem to solve to get a truly random.
Well, look at this. When
number.
I typed in random number generator in Google, the first thing that came up was a Google-built random number generator. Yeah. So I think we can trust.
And I guarantee you that if you knew how this thing worked, it wouldn't be random at all.
Are you trying to tell me that I'm sabotaging?
Yeah. What I'm saying is you're just going to give away a game to yourself.
That's not true because I am not in this giveaway. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, as we promised, 1 in 10 iTunes reviewers would be entered into a drawing for a giveaway. So I have the first 10 iTunes reviewers here labeled with numbers 1 through 10.
Yep.
We got a bunch of crazy characters here. Lexi844.
Damn. Demand.
Nodar.
Blazuki.
I am Coho. The Killing Joke.
Oh, I thought it was Lamb Coho.
That one's a little, I don't know, scary, I guess.
It's the Joker.
Yeah, no, I know.
Well,
I have the fucking
get over
book
it, dude.
there.
It's a
I'm
comic.
just saying, it's scary.
Get over it, baby
Laddie103,
Brad.
Scott, just straight up Scott Schwint.
Dude, that's a cool last name.
He didn't even try to disguise himself. He's just like, yep, that's me.
Take this run.
Take this and run. Take this run.
Take this and run?
I'm going to hit the random number generator and just see what happens. 1 through 10. All right, everybody. The
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, are you ready? Let's see who this was.
Nodar 08.
08.
Do you think he was born in 08? Or she?
So they're like 7 years old. Oh, wait.
That's how math works, Brad. Exactly.
It's like 9. Wait, is it 9? It's 9.
Yes, it's 9.
They could be older than that, though, depending on what like part of the year they were born in.
Just move on. Move on.
All right. So Nodar 08, if you know who you are, you're listening to the show.
Yeah, please write in.
Just write in and let us know.
We need your email address.
We need to know what game you want.
We need a way to give you a game. If we can find you, well, actually, no.
If we can track you down.
I was going to say on PSN, but maybe he doesn't want a PSN game. Maybe he doesn't want a PlayStation game.
Oh, that's true.
So we can't really track you down very well.
Who doesn't want a fucking PlayStation
Yeah, what do you
game.
want, like a Switch game?
Oh, what are you, crazy? Well, there aren't
Vita ain't good enough for you?
There aren't none of those. So you can't get one. Okay, well, let's go to the next one. So the next one involves a bunch of people, including iTunes reviews.
So what were the rules for this one?
So the rules for this one, I put some posts on Reddit. Some people responded. Other threads went negative points. I don't know why.
really?
I'm trying to give away games. Yeah. And the one that really responded was the Nintendo Switch thread, which is great because that's an awesome community over there, and we're big Switch fans.
Yeah.
So it felt really cool to get a lot of questions in from
response.
them. The rules were you could write on the thread and give us a question. You would get one entry into the contest. You could follow us on Twitter and retweet one of our tweets. You get an entry into the contest. And then the last one was you could review us on iTunes, get 2 entries into the tweet. So we calculated up all these entries and put numbers on all of them. And we're about to do the drawing. We have, so total right now, there's 60 drawing entries. That's not too bad. That's a pretty good chance.
I just thought of something. I went through and picked out 3 questions for us to read. But whoever wins this, we should definitely read their question.
Okay, sure.
So we'll do
what
4.
if we already read the question? 4. Do we read it again?
Oh, then we win, and we get to buy a game for ourselves.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the random number generator one more time here, and then we'll get on with the rest of the show. So all you people who didn't enter the contest...
you people.
...can enjoy yourselves, I guess, a little bit. 58. So 1 through 58. 49. All right, let's go find out where 49 is on this list. I think it's one of the iTunes reviewers, and it is...
that's a nice name.
Summer. That's
Afternoon
a really
Summer.
Nice name.
Wait, shouldn't it be Summer Afternoon, though?
I don't really know the semantics. You're
a little
the English,
suspect.
You're the English guy,
Little
not me.
bit suspect.
Let's see what his review was for us, actually. Let's read it out loud on the air here.
Sure.
Afternoon Summer.
Afternoon Summer.
Okay, the title of the review, just so everyone knows what
Fuck
people
you
are
guys.
thinking about this show.
Thanks,
no, not
Afternoon
fuck you
Summer.
guys. This is great. Feels refreshing. There are many people doing game podcasts. That's true. There are many
Very
people.
true. Very true.
But these guys bring something that's been missing for a while. Keep up the good work, mates. Oh, you must be from Australia.
Australia.
Yeah, mate.
Oi.
How you doing, Barbie?
Dingo ate my baby.
Yeah, okay. Afternoon Summer. We got some emails from people who wrote in reviews. I'll check to see if you're one of those guys. If you're not, send us an email. Let us know what game you want and how we can get it to you. It's gonna be digital code, so probably we'll just be emailing it back to you.
So how long do we have for these people to send something in?
We're gonna give you 2 weeks from today. So today we can't reveal that date actually because we don't like to reveal secrets.
Yeah, it's secret.
On this podcast,
You never know when we record.
But let's just say.
Wait, didn't you just tweet that we're recording?
2 Mondays. 2 Mondays. 2 shows from now. So by episode 13, if we haven't heard from you, no. By episode 12, by the time we record episode 12, we haven't heard from you, then we do the drawing again.
Sure.
I guess.
Sure.
And pick someone else out. So you could still have a chance.
Yeah, there's a
If Afternoon Summer doesn't get back to
chance.
us. That's a slim chance. Anyway, Sean, now that we're past that exciting little celebration of episode 10,
Yeah.
woo! I was wondering, what have you been playing?
Oh, don't ask.
What
have I been
What have you
playing?
been playing, dude?
So, number 1, I dove back into Persona a little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't mean to have that crazy negative reaction there. I was like, that sounded negative, but I was like,
random.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because you keep doing this. You keep like playing Persona for like 20 minutes or an hour.
Well, that's what I
stop.
love about Persona. It's the kind of game where you can go back over the course of years. And that's what I did with Persona 4 Golden. Yeah, on Vita. Like, I would just hop back in once every couple months if I wanted a taste of Japan. Mm-hmm. And you get your taste.
How does it taste?
You get your taste, and then you move on, and it's great.
Is it salty? Is it sweet? Is it umami? Is that
I would
one
say
of
it's
them?
umami. I would say it's umami.
Umami?
I would say it's
Yo,
your mommy.
Yo, mommy.
Oh. So, yeah, not much more to say about that. It's a 100-hour game that we've both talked about extensively.
Yeah.
So I also played a bit more of The Last of Us Left Behind.
Oh, yeah,
the
I saw
expansion.
that.
And I'm at the point now where there's so much friction to get back into that game.
Yeah.
Anytime I die or anytime something is like really obtuse, I'm kind of like, I don't like playing this game.
You're playing through some hard parts
much.
too, which is frustrating. I think.
Yeah,
because
it does
that
get pretty hard
that
pretty
game,
fast.
Yeah, that DLC has some very difficult areas that aren't necessarily fun. They're kind of stressful. They're
not
the game
fun
is
at all.
stressful.
So honestly, it's one of those games where it's teetering on the edge of, is this worth my time? And it kind of fell over onto the wrong side of that edge.
What?
And got eaten by the sharks.
What? What
Yeah,
are those sharks
the shark
doing
pool
over
on
there?
one edge. There's a there's a puppy pen on one side and a shark pool on the other.
I feel like whatever end it ends up in is like not really great. For
They're
a video
ferocious,
game. Like
rabid
a video game
puppies.
disc does not belong in either
Yeah.
a shark pool
The
or
puppies
a
will
puppy
tear it
pen.
apart.
Yeah.
So those are a couple things I've been playing, but
Uh-oh.
the one that I'm really excited about
Okay.
is I jumped back into Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
What? When?
I went way back.
Way
Way back. Well, after we watched Castlevania on Netflix.
This game came out before some of you people were born.
Yeah, some of you people.
Ugh.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
I don't know how old you are.
Write
but
into
When did it come out, like
gamestuffpodcast@gmail.com and tell us how old are you?
when did it come out? 2001, 1998,
No, dude, way before that. It was a
1999?
PS1 game. It was probably like 97, I would guess.
Okay, cool. So
We'll look it up secretly while you're talking.
So after watching the Castlevania series on Netflix, I was just kind of pumped to play that game. I guess this is kind of a theme for me because after I went to the Kingdom Hearts concert, I bought the Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, blah, 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 HD
I was
collection.
right. March 20th, 1997.
1997. Good call. Good call. Anyway, I went back.
I know a couple things about games.
You know a few things.
And
Not
stuff.
important things, but some stuff.
Video games, I know that.
Went back, booted that up on Vita. Had to get my settings right. I had to go in and manually. It doesn't have analog mode.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to go in and manually
I love
assign
that they
buttons
added
to
all that
analogs.
stuff to the emulators, though.
Yeah,
It's really
so
great.
now I have analog, and it's
Uh-huh.
not like an 8-move system. It's 4 directions, so
yeah,
it's
but
totally
that game
fine.
doesn't really need it, to be honest.
It doesn't need what?
Analog support. I mean, like, it's
It's
'cause
just annoying.
2D and side-scrolling, I tend to play those games with D-pads.
I just with my hands, I don't like moving up to the D-pad.
Oh, are your
like my
fingers
hands
too small?
naturally.
Do you have too,
no, they're
are your
probably-
hands too feminine
Dude,
to be able to
you
wrap
have
around
the small
the Vita?
hands. Everyone knows that. You have
What are you
tiny
talking
little
about?
hands.
No, don't listen to him, readers and listeners.
Hey,
I don't know what you're
readers.
reading right
Readers.
now, but my hands are totally perfectly normal size. In fact, they're like above average for men. So
Yeah, just like yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on. So here are some things about that game. Amazing game. It's a masterpiece. The sound
agreed.
design is so bad.
dude, you keep saying this about these
So bad.
old games, and
Dude, it was on PS1.
You got to understand the limitations.
Fantasy
aren't
VII was on
insane.
PS1.
Yeah,
Don't
it
tell me
doesn't have
about
good sound either.
limitations.
Go back and listen to that game.
Don't you tell me about limitations.
I'm telling you, the limitations are fucking insane for
I
those
know the
games.
limitations. I get the limitations, but that doesn't mean you have to have the sound of someone stepping in moss for the save point, and you don't have the sound of like nails on a chalkboard for
Well, we
jumping.
should go back. We should go back and listen to it together and see what's going
Yeah.
on. Because I forgive those games because I wasn't making games at that time. Like
Mm-hmm.
my boss Eric Kraber, he was making games on PlayStation, and it's pretty fascinating to hear about like the things that they had to do to
Yeah.
get things to play back and like the limitations they had as far as RAM and memory and all that goes. So it's like you basically could have like one variation for sound pretty much and that's it. Maybe you could do pitch bend stuff or whatever. Most music was still MIDI at that time, which Castlevania's was. And like it wasn't until I think actually
The music is great.
yeah, the music can be good still.
Yeah, the music is fine. I'm just saying the sound effects are real bad.
Yeah, and then the resolution, like they, like they had to have things so compressed to even be able to play
Yeah.
them back.
Well, and that's so none of those things are the problem, is what I'm saying. Like they could have chosen a sound that is pleasing to the ear, but they didn't.
I just think the problem is you're so used to things like how things are now, and going back to a game that's 20 years old,
Here's-
like the sounds aren't pleasing.
Here's
They
the
just
counter
aren't.
argument to you, though. 16-bit games and 8-bit games sound better than this.
Because they're not using samples for the most part, and a lot of times they're just using the actual sound generator chips
Yeah.
within there. So it's just a different sound, and those things can still be harsh and still
Yeah,
be
they
bad.
can.
But
In
they're
fact,
not
a lot of
as
times they
they're not
are.
as bad in general because what people were doing then is they were trying to push audio to
Yeah.
a new direct generate like into a just higher quality generation that it wasn't at before.
Yeah.
And a lot of things
They
they
were
were doing,
pushing
which
the
was
boundaries. Mm-hmm.
exciting for them, was using samples because they couldn't do it. But to get those samples in, you're right. It's the same way that 3D games don't look good.
Yeah,
like those
the
first wave of
first
3D,
3D
games,
visuals.
like the polygonal games. where
As
they're
good
like,
as you thought Super Mario 3
you're like, holy
or
fuck,
Super
this
Mario
is 3D.
64
This is
looked,
awesome.
it does not look
Not
good.
anymore. The
Yeah.
same thing there. Holy shit, we're using samples. We're using real sounds and playing them back. This is crazy. Doesn't sound good.
And that's
anymore.
actually interesting.
But I
That's
guess I have a different appreciation because I can see where they were like they were limited.
I can appreciate it was hard. It still does not sound good.
Yeah.
But it's a really, like, the art versus sound thing is really interesting for Castlevania in particular because it's a 2D game and it looks great.
Yeah.
So they're not trying to push the boundaries that way. And so I guess I kind of expected the more retro feel and the retro like chiptunes kind of stuff
Right.
for sound effects, and you're not getting it. So that heightens it a little bit. But it's an amazing game, and I've played it before. I've played most of it. I never actually beat it, but there's
You
a
didn't?
point. No,
Oh, okay.
I got to the point where the castle flips upside down.
Yeah.
And then I got far beyond that, but I never got to the end. I just kind of stopped
Gotcha.
playing Vita.
It's a pretty
for
long
sec.
game, actually.
It's really long. And amazing. And you can equip something in each hand. You can have like a shield and a sword, and you equip like armor and stuff. So it was pretty far ahead of its time, I think, in terms of just like the flexibility and equipment.
I think it took like another couple years before we even got another game like that. Like it took until Aria of Sorrow until we got another Castlevania where you could equip different weapons.
Well, and
Because Circle of the Moon came out on Game Boy Advance
and you just had the whip.
and you just had the whip.
Yep, because they were harkening back to the old Castlevania games. But even in Aria of Sorrow, you could only equip one weapon at a time.
Yeah.
And then you had your spells, which was really cool.
Yeah.
That you would steal from monsters
Right from
and
the
stuff.
monsters. Getting the
So-
souls.
I mean, Castlevania is one of those series that has so many amazing games. If you haven't played any of them, definitely go back, pick up. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is probably the easiest one to get at this point. But if you have your hands on a regular DS or a Game Boy Advance or something like that, play Aria of Sorrow, because that's my favorite.
Oh yeah,
That one is just so
I think that
fun.
one's the best.
It's faster. Stealing the souls of enemies and then using their abilities is just such a cool system. And it has one of the best bad endings in games ever.
Yeah.
So
I know,
check
you
it out.
love that ending.
I
so
love it
much.
so much.
Is that it for what you've been playing?
Yeah, I think so.
So-
what you been playing?
Well, what have I been playing this week?
I don't know. I just asked you. You don't have
What
to ask
have
yourself.
I been playing this week? I was pretty focused, actually. Usually I'm kind of playing a couple different things. And, I've been playing a little game called Danganronpa
Dang
V2. I finished the first one, really liked it, and I was like, let me get right into the second one.
Yeah.
Because they were both on sale,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to play through it. And then the third one's coming out in September, so I'll be ready for it. And so I forced myself through Danganronpa 2 this entire week, and I actually just finished it this morning.
Okay.
So that was pretty much the whole week, was playing Danganronpa 2. And I don't know how many of you out there are Vita fans, or if you have a Vita, or if you like Japanese visual novels or games like
Or games with
Phoenix
Death
Wright.
Bears.
Yeah, Death Bears. The game really grabbed me in a way that I never expected. It's like reading a good mystery novel. And that's kind of how I was explaining it to you earlier this week, where you were asking me about like if I was reading any books right now, and I'm not really reading any books right now because I feel like Danganronpa, this sounds negative, but it's not. It's almost like I'm reading a book because there is so much text. It's
Yeah.
a lot of talking to characters, investigating scenes, and reading a lot of text. And then when you get to the trials in the game, once another student has murdered another student, the trial is all fully voice acted. So then it's kind of like watching an anime at
Yeah.
that point. But up until that, you spend a couple hours just walking around, talking to people, and reading a lot, and kind of just digging into the mystery of where you're at, why you're there, who put you there, who are you, because a recurring theme is that you don't quite remember how you got where you are.
Oh, so you don't know if you're the killer?
No, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but you know, I think for the most part that you aren't the murderer in the cases. Like
Okay.
you're in control of yourself the whole time.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know how you got to the school or like in the situation you're in. So there's a block of time erased from your memory. You know.
Is that the same for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so basically it's just like this really awesome mystery novel where you're figuring out who are these characters, like what are their talents, and why did they come to the school to begin with, and what is going on in the outside world. And so I got to the end of the game, and I was talking to you this morning. The last chapter goes a little fucking batshit insane, which was kind of frustrating me. But by the time it ended, it actually was a really cool ending. So I highly recommend these games. They're on PS4 now, and they're on Vita, but I think it's better on Vita because you can take it with you everywhere you
Yeah.
go. I don't know if I would want to be sitting in front of my PS4 reading.
I was just going to
text
ask
like
if they
that.
were on any other platforms, because it's interesting. I feel like a lot of people have played these and they're kind of all the rage on Vita.
Yeah.
But that's such a small market compared to PS4 or PC or
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm glad that they're spreading out, because it seems like this could be a larger thing, kind
Yeah.
of like Phoenix Wright was.
I kind of hope it continues to grow. I don't really know if they really... I don't know how much more they can get out of the series, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm definitely intrigued. I kind of hope the third one's the final game because I think it feels like they're building up to a final conclusion. I think each story is definitely very conclusive, so don't feel like you're missing out or like you're getting roped into something much bigger. You kind of choose to go on if you want to. I finished the first game and I was like, oh man, I'm really intrigued to see how they set this up for a second game, and they did a great job. It was super cool. And then there's a game I haven't played yet, Ultra Despair Girls. Apparently, it takes place in between 1 and 2, and it's a completely different game. It's like a first-person shooter.
Oh, that's in the same series, though?
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter. You play as characters from the first game. And so I might check that one out, too, and before 3 comes out. We'll see. I don't know. But
You're going really hard on these Japanese Vita games.
Dude, Danganronpa hooked me, man. Like, you know me, like, I'm really picky with anime and stuff like that. I think you're way more forgiving than I am. And
well, that's because I watch it in Japanese, which is like
and I can't,
a way better experience.
I can't stand Japanese dubs. I just can't do it. I need English dubs. It's just the way I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and like Japanese voiceovers, it's just the way there's too melodramatic, and that's the problem with a lot of English dubs too. Is like they mimic that, and then the English dubs are just as bad, if not worse. For
and
the
I
most
think
part.
that's why I like the original Japanese, because while it
You don't
is
understand
super
what
over
they're
the
saying.
top, you don't
Yeah.
get what they're saying. So usually with an English dub, the problem is it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's just like so brain dead, and they're freaking out and
Like,
being melodramatic.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. But if it's in Japanese, I'm like, oh, cool. I don't really know what they're saying, so it just
I think one of the
goes down easier.
most recent clearer examples for why I will always love the English dub over the Japanese dub was when they showed at the Switch reveal the Japanese conference. They showed that new Zelda trailer, which was like a story trailer, and it was so cool. Remember, we were watching it in Japanese, and so we saw the Zelda trailer in Japanese, and there was a scene where Zelda is sobbing and she cries into Link's shoulder or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, and like she cries into his shoulder. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that sounds so stupid. And then the next day, I saw that there was actually an English dub trailer. And so they had all the dialogue redone in English. And then that same scene was just Zelda like,
yeah.
it was like a sob. It felt so much more real.
Yeah.
And the Japanese
And that's
dub was
really
so
good
ridiculous.
translation.
That's a good translation. That's
Yeah.
a good dub.
which is rare.
And
even now.
And Danganronpa has great dubs. Like, the characters get a little wacky and crazy sometimes.
Whoa.
But the dub is just awesome. The characters are really cool in that game, and you kind of get attached to them in a way that I wasn't expecting. So it's like every chapter, you're just like, oh, fuck, who's going to die?
Yeah.
Fuck, they died? And then it's like, well, fuck, who killed him? Because they're going to die next as soon as we find out who that is.
Yeah.
And then the whole trial, you're like, please don't let it be this chick I was just talking to. Please don't let it be this chick I was talking to.
Or that
Damn
chick,
it.
or that other chick.
Or all the chicks I was talking to.
Are they all chicks?
No, but there's a lot of cute females in this game, and cute dudes.
Some chicks and dudes in there?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I finished that. Really excited because I'm gonna start Final Fantasy 12 later because I got Final Fantasy 12 the remaster.
When you got it, and I just wanted to see the box, and you were like, you can't start playing it before I do. And I was like, dude, you really think I'm going to play a 100-hour RPG right now in the middle of all my other 100-hour RPGs that I haven't finished?
Yeah.
And then I wanted to start it just to spite you. Like,
son of a
I'm
bitch.
going to steal it and start it, I think, before you do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start that later today. But that's about it for what I've been playing.
Cool.
So let's get into announcements.
Announcements.
So we're adding a new thing to this segment. We're gonna add in delays here because I feel like delays are kind of like an
but only,
announcement.
once again, only delays that we care about.
Yeah. All
I
this
think
is
it's-
like announcements that are interesting to us, delays that are interesting to us. I mean, we're gonna try to hit things that are a little less interesting.
I don't think you really even had to say anything there because a delay is an announcement. I don't think anyone was going to be questioning it. Like, it is already part of that
typically
category.
We've been announcing like new games that have been announced, but
I don't think there's any hard pattern to how we do this.
Okay, you're right. There's no fucking
Just chaos.
It's all chaos.
Game chaos.
Maybe that's why iTunes hasn't featured us yet.
Yeah, thanks, iTunes.
Come on,
Hey, if
iTunes.
you're listening, write in.
Right in. Tell us why we haven't been featured.
Tell us we've been approved to be featured.
Sean, what's this first announcement?
WWE 2K18 now coming to Nintendo Switch.
You had some choice words
on
about
October
this
17th.
earlier.
I said, "Who the fuck cares?" And then Brad was over here like,
Let me tell you why this matters.
Wrestling.
There's reasons. Okay, so I'm going
And
to
here's
sound
what
like
I
a
said.
fucking apologist.
I said, "Oh, it's all about UFC now, man." And Brad goes, "UFC and wrestling are the same thing."
There's two guys in their underwear trying to get each other
Underwire.
they're trying to get each other on the ground, you know?
Get them all bloody.
It's like, hey, hey, other guy in your underwear. Why don't I just touch your body and we get onto the ground?
Oh, you can't touch that. That's a foul.
Oh, oops.
You get one free punch, right? That's how it works.
It's a penalty punch.
So that would be great, actually. They should totally have fouls.
They should add
and
that
penalty
in.
shots.
That would be sick. And then it's like the guy just has to
and you just have to stand. Someone holds him,
hit and hope that he like doesn't get knocked out.
And the greatest penalty is you just get to kick him right in the balls.
No, I don't like that.
Right in the balls.
I don't like that penalty, Sean. We should take that one back.
All right, I'll take it back.
Okay, good.
You're right. That's too much.
No, I said that. I'll explain myself so these guys out here don't think I'm a fucking idiot, Sean.
Yeah, here's why he said it. Because he's
said that
stupid.
because a lot of the producers from WWE have moved over onto working on UFC, so they're trying to build these characters. Like, look at fucking Conor McGregor going around doing a world tour right now for this goddamn boxing match. Let's not get too much into this stuff over here, but it's getting me fired up.
No one cares.
Right. This WWE 2K18 coming to Switch is cool. I'm not saying I'm super interested in it, but it's cool because apparently it's like the first WWE game to come to a Nintendo platform in 5 years. Okay. So they skipped all of Wii U.
Okay. Well,
but now they're back, so that's a good sign for Switch.
I mean,
that means people are getting interested in Switch.
If I'm remembering correctly, The Rock does not wrestle anymore. So once again,
I think you're remembering incorrectly because I'm pretty sure he was in a wrestling competition last year. I'm calling it a competition, but that is not the name.
Wasn't it?
No, it's like a Cage Fest. Or it was like a big thing.
Yeah,
it was
he came back once, and he was like, "I'm back."
Yeah,
just for publicity.
That's going to keep happening, though. He's going to keep coming back in every once in a while.
Well, he just keeps getting huger and huger.
That's true. Like,
so he's probably just going to wipe the floor.
Does he know something? Is he playing basketball?
He must be. He's really tall, too.
I know. It's ridiculous.
He's Maui. He's that Maui guy. So now he's like twice as wide.
Yeah, he has to keep increasing in size. Otherwise, he's not the true Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that we know and love.
Someone else could usurp him.
Yeah. I would like to do that someday. I'd
usurp
like to
The Rock?
Yeah, just get bigger than The Rock. Become the new Rock.
Yeah, well, it's impossible because he's way taller.
Do you think The Rock will be a title that they pass down, like a king?
No, I don't think so.
Or do you think he'll just die as The Rock? Will there be a Rock 2? Because if I was a wrestler, I would show up and I'd be like, "Oh, yo, I'm The Rock 2."
Yeah, I think
that
The
would be
Rock.
my new wrestling name.
It has to go with him to the grave. Because
Yeah.
his father was also a wrestler and he wasn't
What
The
do you
Rock.
think they call his gravestone? Is his
The Rock. That's all it says. The Rock.
Like, will his gravestone be made out of rock?
Well, yeah.
Okay, good.
No, granite. I mean, that's a rock.
Yeah, it's whatever. Is it a stone? It's made out of stone. It's a rock.
Stone.
So they said about the Switch version.
I mean, is there any news here? Or?
Yeah. No, they said 2K's released new details with the Switch version of the game, including that it will release alongside PS4 and Xbox One versions on October 17th. So it's day and date. That's good. And then
That is good.
I guess they're saying it's unclear if he'll get a deluxe version. They confirmed that the upgrades being made for the already announced versions, alterations to the My Career mode, adding customization options, and more are included. The press release also implies that the new rendering engine is being used in the Switch version. That's really cool. That means you're not getting a dumbed down. I mean, I'm sure it'll be lower resolution and there'll be things that are compromised, but you're getting potentially a close to PS4 and Xbox One version of wrestling.
Potentially close. I'm excited.
Yeah, if you like wrestling.
You know, I
if
never
you like
really
those boys hanging out in their underwear, touching each other,
touching
and
up on each other.
Yeah.
I never played a wrestling game because I've never stooped that low. But
what do you mean stooped that low?
They looked kind of fun.
I played wrestling games back in the day, and they are fun. They're complicated. They're way more complicated than you think. You can't just get into a wrestling game and push buttons and win because a guy will just fucking wreck your ass.
You don't want that. You need to know the ass wrecking block.
Yeah, exactly. The special combination to stop that. Oh, Sean, what's this next announcement / delay?
Ni no Kuni 2 has been delayed to 2018.
What?
More time is needed to deliver the full Ni no Kuni 2 experience.
We don't even know what the full Ni no Kuni 2 experience is, but I guess they do.
This game has a subtitle already. I didn't know that. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. Really adds a lot.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a good name. It's better than like
What's
Wrath
a
of the
Revenant?
White Witch or
What's
whatever
a
the first
Revenant?
one was. I don't know, a remain of something, I think.
No, that's a remnant.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. This doesn't add anything for you, and you know it.
It's a cool name, though.
Anyway, they gave it a date, though.
Okay.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
That's very kind of them.
Yeah.
Delayed to January 19th, 2018. You think we'll still be alive?
That's not... I think I will. I'm not so sure about you, though.
Why? Why do you think I would die before you?
I don't know. You're just doing a lot of crazy things lately, like biking around 120 miles, and then you go surf in the water, and there's dangers out there.
I guess there are dangers out there, but I'm training to
Me, I mostly just stay around
be better than
here.
the dangers.
and just stay around.
You just
You
stick
know what I'm saying?
hang around. You're here for Guy Whiskers.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Exactly. I'm a father, so I have responsibilities.
You're such a good father.
I really am.
Except
I have that number one dad
remember when you
shirt.
yelled at him last night and said, "No, you can't have water yet"? Sounds like a great father.
I did say that. There's reasons behind
He was
this.
meowing at you, and you were meowing right back.
We won't get into it right now. So this was delayed from November 10th to January 19th. That's not a huge delay. That's 2 months.
Yeah, it's like
I'm fine with this because this fall is going to be fucking crazy anyways. I think, first of all, the first Ni no Kuni came out in January. So this one coming out in January, it's good. It's a great time for games like this. They're going to get a
Good
lot
time
more
for
attention.
games.
And I adored Ni no Kuni. That game.
it was really
That
cool.
game came out at a time when I was in like kind of a rough spot
Yeah.
emotionally and
Yeah.
everything. And that game just resonated with my spirit.
You know-
like, in this way that just really, like, I played that game and I felt at peace.
It's really weird because I feel like a lot of games come out when you're in a rough spot.
What are you talking about? What other
Almost
games have
every
come
game
out?
you play.
No, that game really, I felt like calmed and soothed my spirit in a time when I didn't really have necessarily that many things to do that.
Yeah, and I played like the intro to it, but then I saw so much from you playing it
Yeah.
that I didn't even need to play it. And all I remember
Played
is
that game nonstop.
the battle music
The
over
battle
and over
music
again.
drove me fucking nuts. I really hope that they have a little bit more variety next time, and like maybe the battle music doesn't. Oh, man, so many games have this problem. We could get into it right now. I could fucking open up airing grievances, but I'm not going to do it.
You're gonna keep it closed.
I'm going to keep it closed.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
You
gonna
look
keep
like
it
you're
closed.
bursting at the
I'm
seams.
bursting because I could talk about it with Persona. We already talked about it with Persona. I could talk about it with Nino.
You
Kuni. I
have
could
to,
talk
dude.
about it
You're
with Final
talking too
Fantasy.
fast.
We could
Just
talk
air
about
it.
with anything.
Just air it.
All right, I'm just going to open the fucking grievance bag real quick. All right. Games. RPG games. Fucking record more than one battle track. Please.
Wow.
Shutting
Some
the
of them
fucking
do.
grievance bag.
Some of them do.
Shutting it.
Well, let's at least talk about it.
Open it back up. Okay.
Some of them do.
Yeah, some of them.
Even all the way back to some of the original Final Fantasies.
No. They will, but it will be only for like bosses.
I believe so.
Most of
I
the
think
time,
Final
it's the
Fantasy
same battle
VI
music.
had different battle music.
I didn't
for
play that
different
one,
areas.
so-
Also, different areas. Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts. That's an RPG, right? Does
Yeah.
that fit the mold?
Sure.
Kingdom Hearts has
yeah.
different
No, that doesn't-
stage themed battle music for
Yeah,
each stage.
that doesn't fit the mold because that's not a turn-based RPG. I'm talking about
So it
turn-based
needs to be
RPGs.
turn-based?
Yes, I think
Okay.
so because because Ni no Kuni wasn't turn-based, but okay, all right.
Wow,
Kingdom
you
Hearts
are
doesn't
just-
get included in this. That's an exception. That's a rare exception. That's really good.
No, I'm just saying there are some that do it right. So look at those.
Yeah, so
and
I'm
just
saying,
do
but
it
the
right.
most of them don't fucking do it the right.
Yeah,
so
I agree with
let's
that.
get it straight, guys.
Get it straight.
Gosh, closing up the bag.
Because then your roommates don't have to hear the same exact song over and over. Oh my god, Final Fantasy 13 had the same exact thing for me.
Did it?
Where the song was cool. I
I didn't play that game, I feel like I know that music though. Still.
Yeah, and it was semi cool, but it wasn't cool enough to hear 60,000 times
Right.
over the course of 25 hours before you get to chapter 11 and you quit because the game sucks.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, that just drives me nuts.
That game
Guys,
was so beautiful though. And the battle system was really cool.
Yeah.
They just didn't pull it together. And I looked at a map.
They haven't pulled it together in a while.
I
I'm
think
gonna be
we
honest
should
with you.
post the map for Final Fantasy 13 because this is one of the more
Oh, yeah, we
egregious
should tweet it
examples.
out.
But
Yeah, I've seen
there's
it.
a map that's just literally a straight line from top to bottom with like a few offshoots.
I
And-
played that game for like a couple hours, and that's all it was moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward, and then if there's an offshoot,
There's
know
a
there's an
treasure
item
there. Yeah.
within like 3 steps
Every time.
There's no choice whatsoever.
All right. So next announcement. Her Story developer announces new game called Telling Lies.
His story. Should have been his story.
That would have been a little too obvious, Sean. Because this guy, creator Sam Barlow, he's too smart for that.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
He's teaming up with Annapurna Pictures Games Division,
Who's that?
Annapurna Interactive, for his newest project, Telling Lies.
Isn't Annapurna a person?
No, Annapurna, I forget, but they've done like a bunch
tennis
of
player.
indie games.
Tennis player.
Like, I want to say they did the Dear Esther and stuff like that, and like some of the scary ones. Like,
Annapurna Kova.
Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you talking about? The game will have a similar format to Her Story, which followed an interactive movie format that tasked players with piecing together a disjointed narrative, revealing live action clips to solve a mystery.
I still want to play this.
I played this game for like an hour on an airplane on my laptop, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
Why'd you stop playing?
Well, I mean, it was like one of those things where I was on a trip, and so I was playing it on the airplane on the way to where I was going, but then I didn't have time to play games, so I just kind of like dropped it and didn't pick it back up. But I was enjoying it while I was playing it.
Wow. Brad Snyder, shitty assistant of Game Stuff Podcast, doesn't have time to play games.
I mean, I have time. I just, you don't have time for everything. I played it.
Real convincing.
Hey, I played it more than you did. Oh. Yeah, that's right. Beat your
Good
ass.
defense. Good
Sean,
defense.
I'm hearing something. What am I hearing here?
Chugga, chugga. Oh, shit, wrong one.
Weekly Roundup. All right, this is the segment where we kind of pick out some of the coolest news stories from the week and just get down to the bottom of it.
You picked a lot of them. You sure did.
No, I picked like 5 things.
Oh, do you just have 3 links for one story for some reason?
Because there's like a shit ton of news that came from that story, and we don't want to spoil it
You're
yet.
such a nerd.
But let's get down into the bottom of all these stories, Sean.
Yeah, we'll do the worst one first, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah. What? You think this is the worst one? I think this
Dragon
is
Ball Xenoverse 2 Switch release date revealed.
Okay, this is almost like an announcement. I probably fucked up here.
Wow, Brad. First one and you already fucked up.
But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because they say the Switch version will feature an exclusive 6-player local multiplayer mode and will allow players to perform the series' signature moves, such as the Kamehameha.
Dude, I love 6-player games.
Joy-Con motion controls.
6 players is just the perfect amount of players.
Yeah. Dude, local? That's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
That's cool that they get their own exclusive mode because I don't think you need 6 players. I would have been fine with just 2 to 4. But,
maybe 4.
But I think that this game is going to be really, really awesome on Switch because any fighting game like this is just right at home in a console where you can always have 2 controllers with you and walk around with it. And I have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 on PS4. And I played it for a little while, and it's one of those games that kind of got lost last year when I was crunching on Titanfall 2. And I'm probably going to buy it on Switch and play it on here. Because they're really awesome. As a Dragon Ball Z fan, these games are like pure fan fiction amazingness.
Yeah.
Like, you get to build your own Z fighter out of like all the races.
The hell's a Z fighter?
That's what they call the characters. They're Z fighters.
That's so gross.
You could be a Boo character. I forget what they're called right now.
A blob.
Yeah.
You can be a Namek. Is that a character?
You can be a Namek. You can be a Saiyan. You can be a human.
You can be a. I can probably do another one. Android.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. It's really cool. There's a hub world you get to go around and explore, and you kind of team up with. You can choose like who you want to train with. Do you want to train with Vegeta or with Goku? It's just as a fan, like you love it.
Train with Vegeta, kick his ass.
Well, here's the secret. You can train with all of them, but you have to get. Yeah, you're kind of like a little Dragon Ball Z fighter slut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what training is.
Training with whoever
in the
you want.
hyperbolic time chamber, just in there training all day, training all night.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Cool. I'm not. Singer suing Bethesda over use of his music in repugnant Fallout 4 commercial.
Okay, so this one's kind of weird because I don't understand how a guy is suing Bethesda over music. Like, did he not?
He must
see
have
the
licensed
ad?
it, right?
Okay, well, let's read this story.
Folk singer/songwriter Dion DiMucci is suing Bethesda.
I think 2 C's is a Mucci.
Yeah.
There, Sean.
That's what I said. Over a Fallout 4 commercial that contains what he calls a repugnant and morally indefensible images? Okay.
Really
what he
poorly
calls
worded, yeah.
A was IGN
not
added
needed.
A. It was
That
not needed. DiMucci's song "The Wanderer" was used in a Fallout 4 commercial with the same name. You can view it below.
No, you cannot, because this is a fucking podcast.
PC Games and reports PC Games N, what a great source, reports DiMucci had an agreement with record label UMG Recordings to allow any of his songs to be licensed for advertising, but claims it included a clause that meant the singer had to personally approve any commercial that used his music. DiMucci says Bethesda never reached out. That will not hold up in court. I'm just going to call it right now. That little clause,
you don't think so?
They're going to steamroll that shit.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll find a way to say that he gave them.
So he's
permission.
basically saying the ad damages his image. Killings and physical violence were not to protect innocent life, but to instead were repugnant and morally indefensible images designed to appeal to young consumers.
Okay, I mean, I get his side, but come on.
The singer.
This probably did a lot for his brand.
Well, I mean, it probably got him out there a lot more than
to a different audience. And great if he wants to disassociate himself.
Let me finish this before we get more fired up because it's kind of bullshit. Singer Suit claims that if given the right of refusal by Bethesda, DiMucci could either have blocked the use of the song, renegotiated for a higher fee, or convinced the company to tell the story of a post-apocalyptic struggle for survival without craven violence. He's now asking for $1 million to pay for potential loss of income and damages to his reputation.
Wow.
For loss of income from this ad? Who does he... First of all, what is his music that he thinks that someone who sees this ad is going to not buy his music?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
There's one line here that's really interesting. He could have renegotiated for a higher fee.
Right.
So basically, his morals mean nothing if you pay him more?
Yeah, that's definitely a red flag to me, too. That kind of sounds like he's just pissed because they didn't reach out to him. And he knew this would be a big deal, and he didn't get more money.
You know why else that is? Because they're going to use that higher fee that he could have renegotiated as the grounds for this $1 million.
Yeah.
They're going to say he could have renegotiated and made $2 million off this. We're only asking for $1 million.
Ugh, that's lame. I hate stuff
That's pretty lame. I mean, that kind of stuff has to happen. You have to defend yourself and stuff. And I mean, this is obviously biased because it's from the game side. We all love Fallout.
Yeah.
IGN is reporting from that perspective, so I'm sure there's more to it. I haven't heard the song either, and I don't know his moral boundaries, but yeah, sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks to have lawsuits.
All right, Sean, next story.
Nintendo Switch gets its first video streaming app in Japan. No, it's not Netflix or YouTube, you dick.
You fucking dumbass. Like, IGN has to tell you that. No, it's not. What is it then, Sean?
Nintendo Switch is getting its very first video streaming app in Japan tomorrow, July 13th. According to Nintendo's blog post, the system's first streaming service isn't Netflix or YouTube. Okay. So in the first...
Wait, where'd that Southern Belle just go?
I don't know.
Southern Belle who was over the beautiful, bodacious...
So basically, they have a headline
Belle.
And they have a subtitle. And then they have a sentence and another sentence that are just the headline and the subtitle all over again.
Sean, when you read these articles, you can skim and then skip these.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that, Brad. It's just not right, okay? You're destroying my moral boundaries right now, okay?
He's going to
renegotiate
for a higher fee.
You have to ask me if I want to read something a certain way before you tell me.
Okay.
$1 million.
I'm sorry, bud.
Instead,
it won't happen again.
All right, I'll let the million slide. Instead, it's Nico Nico, one of the biggest Japanese video platforms. Okay, cool.
Explain to people what it does first, real quick.
It's so much explaining. Nico Nico lets people live stream and upload videos, similar to YouTube. Oh, big surprise. However, what makes Nico Nico stand out is that user comments actually appear over live stream.
That's cool. It's like Facebook. And like when you do a Facebook live stream, you've not seen that?
I don't use Facebook.
Oh, I guess you don't. Well, Facebook has a live stream feature where you can live stream things and then people can comment and it shows up as it's commenting and then they can heart it and stuff.
Is it like Twitch chat?
No, because there's no delay. Twitch chat is like a 20-second delay. So it's like it's not live at all. And so that's why a lot of people get frustrated with that.
But it's that format, right? Like where if there are 1,000 people commenting, it's just a stream of nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you just don't have 1,000 people commenting.
Well, I don't live stream.
On your Disneyland live stream.
All right, you got me.
Got him.
I got 5,000 people.
Mark it.
5,000.
Wow, it just starts working better at 5,000. Yeah. Suddenly it's really easy to read. Anyway.
That's only in Japan, but that's good news.
The reason this is notable is that, maybe...
It's the first app. It's the first app for Switch.
And that sets a precedent. Maybe they'll look at YouTube. Maybe they'll look at Netflix. Maybe they'll look at... I don't know. What else is there?
I think to me, it's less them looking at it, and it's more YouTube and Netflix looking at it. And being like, do we want to make an app for it? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. I think it's on Nintendo, though, to make it easy for them.
They probably need to reach out to them.
I'm sure they reached out. I am sure Netflix and YouTube, who are on every single fucking platform in the world, reached out to them instantly.
You think?
Yeah. Why would they not? If they can put their content on a screen, they're going to do it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I don't know, but I would assume that they reached out as soon as they knew about the Switch. And I would assume that it was kind of a Nintendo thing where they have to sack up and own it.
Yeah,
and provide support, and they just don't have the something to provide support. I don't know. I don't know if it's a timing thing or a resources thing or a branding thing where they don't want those, or maybe it's an an age restriction thing where they want to make sure that it's safe for kids because their audience is
there's content
generally lower
can be
age.
very mature on those platforms. Yeah,
Very mature, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo ceases
I mean,
production.
I would never watch those things
What
with anyone
things?
else. I only watch them alone.
Like Pokemon? Is that the mature kind of stuff you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Misty baby.
Oh, Misty.
Oh.
Brock's pretty good.
Yeah, he's good. He's real good.
Got that giant onyx.
And he's got those eyes, baby, that
Got
are
the
just straight lines.
Geodudes.
I love those.
His eyes are awesome. He's great. Anyway, another news story. Nintendo ceases production on smaller new 3DS in Japan.
So
Meaning they're still producing the new 3DS XL.
Yeah.
Just to be clear here with all of the freaking crazy acronyms that are
I
out
know.
there.
I actually didn't know that. I thought the new 3DS XL was being shut down too. Because I'm always kind of dancing around this idea of, do I want a new
Always
Nintendo 2DS
No,
or 3DS so
why
I can
would you?
play Xenoblade Chronicles or whatever?
Just play Xenoblade 2 on Switch.
I will, but I mean, what if I'm missing out on the story of the first one?
Just read a Wikipedia
God, it's not the same.
or
Sean.
look at a 5-minute video.
I will, I guess.
Come on, man. Come on.
I think that this is like really weird because they're really moving away from the 3D part of the 3DS, and I just don't understand. Like, why wasn't this just the? Why didn't they just make another DS then if they weren't going to fucking support 3D? I just think it's so dumb.
Well, wait, what are you talking about?
They're removing this 3DS and they're moving in the 2DS direction. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I think
they don't want 3D anymore.
if I had to guess why they're doing this, it's because the smaller one just doesn't sell. Because everyone's buying the XL now, so they're keeping that. If you want 3D, that
But
is
their
what you
new
buy.
games don't even support 3D. Is what I'm saying.
That's fine, but they still work on the 3DS
Yeah, they still
XL.
work. I just think it's so dumb. It's just frustrating because I think
confusing.
It's super confusing to buy a 3DS. I have if I was not in the game world, I would have no idea what the fuck to buy. There's like 8 different 3DSs. They're not all
You
called
might end
3DS.
up with a regular 2DS that's just like a doorstop. Yeah. Doorstop shape.
It does look like a doorstop. Yeah, I don't know. It's so confusing. Like, this feels like this is still a little bit of like the old confusing Nintendo, like the same Nintendo that thought Wii U was a good name.
Yeah.
And I hope to
Dude, they're
God,
still around. They haven't shaken that.
I guess not.
Just because they released the Switch and did something kind of right
Yeah, something unique.
doesn't
at
mean they're
least.
out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
They're still in the woods.
I hope that the DS stuff goes away soon. I want them
Wow.
to barrel down fully on Switch.
You want them to
Barrel
barrel
down on
it?
it.
Barrel on it? Okay.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I can see that, and I totally agree. The colors, though, on the 2DS XL, so cool.
Yeah,
that
they're
blue,
cool.
That blue
It's-
is amazing.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the neon blue on
yeah,
the Switch.
Which, I mean, maybe it is exactly that.
Yeah, it looks similar.
Okay.
All right, Sean, we're going to wrap up the roundup with
Good.
one last kind of like mega story. This one's a big deal to us.
This one's huge. So, to set this up, a couple months ago, maybe only 1 month ago, I've lost track of time.
Right.
I went to
We've been doing this for so long now.
I went to the Kingdom Hearts concert.
Oh, yeah.
And it was amazing. It was really interesting because it was an orchestra. And usually when you're at an orchestra or a symphony or whatever, the audience is a certain type of person who's very
What kind of person, Sean?
quiet. I would say...
Do you think they're quiet because they're trying to fucking listen to the music,
I would
Sean?
say yes. Older, affluent, white people is what the audience is.
Oh, interesting.
Usually. And so, Yo-Yo Ma goes up there, cracks out a fucking masterpiece, and
Well,
he gets...
what race is
he
he?
gets...
Yeah.
That's what he gets. That was me clapping. It probably sounded really gross.
Okay.
And
threw
maybe
up a
maybe
little
a
bit,
standing ovation. Sometimes they don't even clap. They just stand, and that's better
Yeah.
than clapping. There's a hierarchy.
Okay.
But here at Kingdom Hearts, it was nerds. It was all these gamers from all walks of life. People were dressing up. People were
Are you saying that
Donald
older,
Duck.
affluent white people don't play Kingdom Hearts, Sean?
There were no older, affluent white people there. I will say that. Yes.
Are you saying Kingdom Hearts brings all races together?
I'm not even talking about races, but
Oh,
you
okay.
are. So, yeah, I guess I'd say that. No, I was. I was saying white people. a lot.
yeah.
So anyway, it was awesome. The composer, whose name I always forget, something. She came out on stage and she did the piano piece
It's
for
the chick who did the
Hikari.
music for Final Fantasy 15 too, which by the way is
Yeah, she's amazing. She's so good.
She's so good.
There was another pianist the whole time, and she wasn't even on stage. And then she came out, and there was another director as well.
Uh-huh.
And she came out. She cracked out Hikari on
Hold up.
piano, which is very complicated.
Did they start off with? Yeah,
they did. Yep, they have to. No, actually, did they start with that? They either started with that or one other version of Hikari and then went to that and then wrapped it up with Hikari. But she came out and then she announced, she's like, hey, we've got another guest here who's just kind of in town for E3 or whatever. And Tetsuya Nomura came out, who's the director of this game.
Yeah.
He came out and he was kind of like, I don't know what to say.
That's so
and
weird. Why did
he had
even
nothing
come
to
out
say.
then?
And then eventually he was like, and we were like, okay, well, it's cool to see you. And then he was like, oh, you know what? Maybe you can watch this unreleased trailer of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh shit! So he fucking trolled all your asses.
He trolled it, and then he put it up there, and we were all like, "Oh my god!" And it's different than the one that just came out too. It's. I'm not sure if they released it at all, but then he said, "Okay, mid-July, like July 17th and 18th, at some con, we're gonna start talking more about this."
It's D23. It just happened this weekend.
Yep. And it was just like mind blowing because previous to this, I think we talked about it in one of the podcasts. They were really wishy-washy on the date. They were kind of like, we're kind of maybe working on it right now and might come out in the next 3 years to a decade.
Yeah.
But then he comes out and does this, and now,
decade.
and now this news story that we're talking about is that Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming in 2018.
Okay, now that is exciting, but I will say, I will say that Tetsuya Nomura is known for making games that take a long time.
It's already taken a long time.
And, well, first of all, Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, I think we said 2006 or something like that, or 2005. So, like, it's been a long fucking time. And Final Fantasy 15, which was at one point Versus 13, I'm sure we had, like, windows for that game, too. I don't remember what they were, but I don't know. I'm hesitant until we get, like, really close to whatever this date is. They're saying it's just in 2018. That's a whole year. That's a long window.
Yep.
So maybe that means they're really serious about it and they think it will get done close to that time.
It looks so good. This trailer, oh, man.
Yeah, so they released a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3, and it was fucking Toy Story.
Yep.
That is the best world. Like, that's like, I don't even care what the rest of the worlds are now. The rest of the worlds could be Frozen and whatever bullshit.
That'd probably be awesome, to be honest.
You know there's going to be a Frozen world now. If they're dipping
if
into
there
Pixar,
was a Moana world, I would just die.
Yeah, I would actually really love a Moana world as well.
And you get to, you get Maui's morphing abilities. You can turn into different animals. That would be
I think you already do turn into like different animals in Kingdom Hearts 10, like usually.
Kingdom Hearts what?
Usually.
10?
Usually.
Anyway, I don't even care what the worlds are. I just want this game so bad.
I just have to say real quick, the Toy Story characters look like they looked in the fucking first movie. Like, I mean, I know that's CG from a long time ago, but they nailed the art direction and the character models. It looks so good. And it is hilarious to see Buzz and Woody fucking talk Japanese.
Oh, like, yeah, it is. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
It would be interesting to see like what their poly counts are, what their texture resolution is compared to Toy Story. And I'm sure lighting is probably better in Toy Story because that's where like games just don't have the same lighting and rendering.
Well, I mean, because like they'll like for like a lot of like 3D movies, like it'll take like a day to render like a frame or something.
Easily.
It's like so crazy.
You want to change something? You want to move a rock? It's like, yeah, that's $100,000.
Yeah, nuts.
We have to render it again.
There's one last thing that kind of goes along with all the Kingdom Hearts news because people were really trying to get stuff out of Tetsuya Nomura about Switch, and like I saw the Nintendo Switch subreddit, like there was like posts like Kingdom Hearts 3 needs to come to Switch and things like this, like people fucking getting on their soapboxes and just like kind of, I don't know, being a little annoying about it.
Isn't Kingdom Hearts exclusive to PlayStation?
No, because they've said for the longest time it's coming to Xbox as well. But
in the past, it has always been PlayStation and Nintendo.
It's been PlayStation, but I mean,
3DS,
there's been a bunch of Nintendo.
Yeah, I guess it's
consoles.
just anti-Xbox.
So it's not anti-Xbox. I just think that like they never thought there was a market for it there.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 15 was supposed to come to Xbox too.
Did it not?
And it didn't. I didn't realize that until just the other day. Someone said
13 did.
Yeah, someone said that it didn't come to Xbox, and I was like, wait.
I guess I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, or did it?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm making that up.
Anyway, this news article, oh man, it got me going because I looked at IGN today, and one of their featured articles was a picture of Kingdom Hearts 3, and the text was Kingdom Hearts on Switch. And then there was some subtext that made it sound like it's coming to Switch. I clicked in. There is nothing
I guess
positive about this coming to Switch.
real quick, Final Fantasy 15, I think, yes, did
It
come
is
to
on Xbox One?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
just
think
feel like I never
starting-
heard anything about it.
Starting with 13, they were cross-platform.
Yeah, IGN was trying to get some clickbait about this.
Oh, it was
and
so
it was a little
egregious. It
annoying.
was so bad.
So here's the quote. The Nintendo Switch is definitely a very interesting piece of hardware, but if we lightly say, oh yeah, we'll be on the Nintendo Switch, I'm sure people will come back and say, but what about the PS4 and Xbox One? We want them out first. Don't focus on other platforms. Nomura told IGN.
As in, they're not working on Switch at all.
Yeah, so for now, we want to focus on what platforms we've already announced we're going to be releasing Kingdom Hearts 3 on, and so after, perhaps, maybe, let me say that again, and so after perhaps, maybe, we can start thinking about other possibilities. Doesn't even say Switch, just other possibilities.
That is such a dodge.
This is such, like, this article did not need to happen because this is just going to get people, like, pissed off at him for not making a Switch version eventually.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, probably not going to be a Kingdom Hearts 3 on Switch. I'm going to predict it. It's probably not going to happen.
I would agree.
This game is looking to be like a technical, like, marvel. Like, it
Square
looks
Enix
beautiful.
is waiting because they haven't released anything on Switch. They haven't released any of their collections, any of their HD stuff,
Wrong.
any of their old games.
Wrong.
I'm talking about their
They released the I Am Setsuna.
Sure, but they didn't release any of their Final Fantasies, any of their Kingdom Hearts, any of their like main Square properties.
Well, not on Switch yet.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like they have those constantly in development. They knew the Switch was coming out. They're obviously waiting for something. They're waiting for it to sell more, or they're waiting for Nintendo to stop being so hard to get through cert or something to start unloading that stuff. So yeah, this article just it was so awkward because you can't, like, it's like trying to pull news out of someone and there's no news. Just be happy that we're getting this awesome game on PS4 and Xbox.
And stop trying to count on your Switch as being like your main console to get all the other games, because it's just not proven.
It'd be great.
I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it won't, but don't count on it now.
Yeah.
Like, stop getting frustrated and mad that people aren't putting their games out on Switch yet, because it's just hard to do it, and it needs to be proven that it's going to be worthwhile. And games like WWE 2K18 coming out on Switch and being a close or a similar version to PS4 and Xbox One, these are the test beds. Like, this is exciting. You're at least getting people wanting to try it, and that's all we can ask for right now.
Yeah.
And for the people like Square Enix who don't take a lot of risks, we're just going to have to wait.
Yeah, and Nintendo, listen to what your fans want. They're getting frustrated because they want more games. They want all of their games on Switch. They love the system. They love the games that they have right now, but they need more. So just do it.
Yeah.
Build those relationships, get more games on Switch, figure out how to appease the fans, because this could be like the #1 console of all time for me if it had the games that I want to play.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Zelda is one of the best games of all time. I'm sure Mario will be amazing.
Dude, I'm so fucking amped for Mario.
If Kingdom Hearts 3 was on Switch, and if the Switch could handle something that looked similar to the PS4 version and all of that, that would be kind of game over, you know?
You think?
Game over.
The game would just end? That's it?
All games would just end. This podcast, go down with them. No, we'll be alive much longer than video games. This podcast will go on. We will pass it down.
Like, forget it. We'll just switch to stuff. Just stuff podcast.
Yeah, stuff podcast with the stuff heads.
Drop the games.
Stuff guys.
Stuff heads.
All right, what do we got next?
So next up, we're just going to get into, real quick, the list of upcoming games for this week. It's Monday when this podcast is launched, so 7/17. So
when
we're
we
just
do
gonna
that,
go
should
through.
we do Guess the Metacritic so I can rack up some points and kick your ass?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do it after this because it's separate.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing coming up in this next week, I think it's is it a Saturday release? Hold up. Let me do the math.
What is today?
It's the 16th. So it's a Saturday release, July 21st. Splatoon 2 on Nintendo Switch. I'm really excited about this. I think the reviews are going to start coming in this week. So hopefully the reviews are good. If they tank, probably won't get it. But as long as they're within like the 80 and above range, I think I'm going to buy this because I want this. I played the single player demo or the tutorial for the Splatfest. Didn't get a chance to play the multiplayer thing. I was at Disneyland, which sucks. I hate that Nintendo keeps doing these time exclusive demos for like 3 hours. Because it's like, if you're not there, you can't play it. You can't try it.
It's a cool event. It's kind of cool to get all the
cool
hype
event, but
buzz
they
around
need
it
to make it a
time.
little bit more than one fucking 3-hour session.
Yeah.
That's frustrating to me. So Splatoon 2, excited about that. It's coming out on Switch July 21st. Splatter enemies and claim your turf as the ink-spewing squid-like characters called Inklings in the sequel to...
Probably Splatoon.
Probably Splatoon. So like, we're reading these off the IGN list, and sometimes their descriptions just end.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to fill in the ending
All right.
ourselves.
All right,
This is a
let's do
little
this.
game we're going to have here. So some of them do just end. So What Remains of Edith Finch is coming out on Xbox One this week.
All right.
On July 19th, it's Edith Finch is a surreal first-person painting game inspired by classic children's books. Finished. I forgot to mention in what I've been playing, I actually did play that this week with Maggie. We finished it.
Okay.
It was interesting. She liked it more than me.
Yeah. I could
just
see
say
you trying to punch things and shoot stuff. It's like, man, I can't shoot
you know,
enough stuff. What is
what?
the story doing here? You shoot the story? Yeah, I'll shoot the story.
Well, I mean, I like the story, but no, I don't really like the story. You know what I'm saying?
On July 18th, we've got Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles on PC.
Oh my God, the
Yonder, the Cloudcatcher...
Cloudcatcher Cracklers.
The Cloudcatcher Chronicles is an open-world adventure across the beautiful, vibrant island of Gamea. And here's where the sentence ends.
The beautiful protagonist must defend her country from invaders. The end.
Excellent. All right, you do this one.
All right, Moon Hunters. This is coming out on Xbox One, July 19th. Moon Hunters offers gamers a chance to take a mystical journey where up to 4 players can work together to solve...
Their crippling depression in an underground labyrinth.
Oh my God. All right, next up.
Orcs Must Die Unchained, July 18th for PlayStation 4. Orcs Must Die! With an exclamation point. Unchained is a fast-paced Fortress Siege action game in which teams of heroes battle head-to-head to...
Keep their friends alive.
All right, that's so wholesome.
Tangle Deep.
Tangled Deep.
Tangle Deep. Who makes these names?
It's on PC and Linux.
Yeah, PC and Linux, July 19th. Inspired by classic SNES era RPGs. Now, Sean, do you know what SNES stands for?
Snot-nosed entertainment sex.
Yep, that's correct. Sean, do you know what RPG stands for?
Right put
Guy.
gun.
Okay. It was actually, you're right, it was gun. Tangle Deep is a polished, turn-based, roguelike right put gun.
Right put gun.
Lone Echo. Grab, push, and glide your way through an immersive first-person 360-degree science fiction experience where you can...
Beat the game in 20 minutes.
On PC, July 20th.
Then we got Gigantic on Xbox. Oh, I missed one.
Yep.
We got Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy on Android
Catriel.
on July 20th. From the makers of popular Professor Layton game series comes a new puzzle adventure starring Catriel Cat.
The cutest detective on the history of solving crimes.
Nice.
Okay, next up, Gigantic. This is finally out.
Gigantic.
Did this just sneak up on us?
I don't know.
This is the... Well, I'll just
What is it?
I'll just read the description to you, Sean.
July 20th on Xbox One and
on
PC.
Xbox One and PC. Gigantic is a team-based competitive action game with an epic objective. Your team of 5 heroes, along with a... blank, blank, blank.
Gigantic nerd. Take on the world.
Okay, so the Gigantic's just referring to a gigantic nerd. All right.
Why do you say gigantic, by the way?
Gigantic?
You're saying that, and it's not sarcasm. You're just saying it like that.
I don't know. I thought that's how you say it.
Did you think that?
Yeah.
How else do you think you could say it?
Gigantic.
Yeah, see, you should say that one.
That's it for what's coming up this week.
Oh, thank God. There's so much.
What's crazy is there was nothing coming out last week, and then there was like a
I know,
bunch
and
of cool
now
games
suddenly
coming out
we've
this
got
week.
Gigantic and
Gigantic.
Catriel in one day.
All right. Up next is a little game we like to call Guess the Metacritic. All right, up this week is Sean the Ripper Crick. He's
It's go
trying
time,
to come
baby.
back from what some may call one of the greatest comebacks in the history of...
I'm coming
Guess the
back from a comeback. Yeah, here's
So-
what happened. We changed the entire rules, and suddenly Brad got some points. Eked out a couple points over me.
No,
I'm
no.
gonna crush him
I didn't-
into the ground.
I didn't eke out a couple points. I eked out a fucking massive load of points.
You're gonna eke out a massive load of points
Yeah,
right now?
No, you have to eke out a massive
coming
load.
out. No,
I already
I'm
eked it
coming
out.
at you.
I eked the load out last week. You got to go full blasting now.
Guess what? I'm blasting at you with a cyclonomatrix of
Oh,
points.
shit. Okay, well, Sean, let's get this fucking party
I'm
started,
gonna get
bro.
a Tyrannosaurus of points.
Okay, let's
Rex.
see. Let's see how many Rexes you get.
Yeah, well, ask me a question.
First game up is Minecraft Story Mode Season 2. This is on PS4.
Huh.
So now that Jesse and the gang have vanquished the Wither Storm, saved the world, and become totally super famous heroes, life has gotten a bit more complicated. With more responsibilities and less time for adventure, old friendships have started to fade.
Oh, no.
At least until Jesse's hand gets stuck in a creepy gauntlet that belongs to an ancient underwater temple.
The temple owns the gauntlet?
Yeah, dude, it belongs to the temple.
The temple's like, oh, give that back.
What I want to know is why was he sticking his hand in places where it shouldn't be?
Creepy places, no
I guess you have to
less.
play the game to find out. And Sean,
Next time
what do you
on-
think that Metacritic score
84.
is? 84?
Yeah.
Damn, 84.
Yep, wrecks it.
Okay, you know, I'm going to type that over here. I
Yeah,
think it
please
makes
do.
more sense to type it over here right next to the game. Okay, next up, Black the Fall.
Oh, Jesus.
Not even, I don't even think it has like a colon. I think it's just Black the Fall.
Black the Fall.
After decades of toil.
Oh, you know what? I get it. That's
And-
kind of cool. It's like a literary thing. It's like the
Oh, God.
autumn. It's
You're
like a black autumn.
Interrupting my fucking
Black the
reading
Fall.
of it.
Black is the fall.
All right, shut the
I think
fuck
black
up.
is the fall. Would be cool.
After decades of toil, an old machinist plots his escape from the oppressive grasp of
Machinist.
the communist regime. Through hidden passages, shadow and grief, he struggles. Ingenuity, reflexes, and deception are his tools.
An old machinist plots his escape from the oppressive
do you
grasp
think, Sean?
of the communist regime through hidden passages. This doesn't tell me anything about the game.
I think it tells you a lot. Let me tell you three things. Ingenuity, reflexes, and deception. They're his tools.
Yeah, great. How do you use those in gameplay?
Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna say it's on PS4. Oh,
Yeah, this is on PS4.
oh, it's coming to me.
Blast out some numbers, bro.
52.
52, damn.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of faith in his ingenuity,
It was
do you?
no, not at all.
Okay, this is a game, actually another game I should have included in what have you been playing? De Mambo, because we played this
Okay.
for like 5 minutes the other day on Switch, and
Me?
I hated it.
Oh, that one, that game. Okay. Bada bada de mambo.
De Mambo, da Mambo, de Mambo. De Mambo lets 1 to 4 players engage in Mambo combat.
Mambo combo.
Grab a Joy-Con and charge your measly 1 button and release at different times to do 3 different attacks. See, I never figured that out. I thought it was just 1 attack the whole time.
So this is
Knock your
helping you.
opponents off the screen and break the level however you decide, thanks to some flimsy architecture, to make your game marginally different each time you play. De Mambo is the first game by The Dangerous Kitchen, dedicated to all those who helped us reach this point. What the fuck does that have to
What?
do with the description of the game? Well, Sean, what do you think? It's on Switch.
Oh, good God. 72.
De Mambo, Day 72.
72 to 7.
Okay.
D2.
Flip Wars.
Ooh, is this like a flip cup simulator in VR
Let's find out.
with guns?
Leap into the air and hip drop onto the board below to flip adjacent panels around where you land and change them to your color. Knock out your opponent by flipping any panels they're standing on and watch them fly off the board. Be careful where you stand, though, as they can send you flying too. Prevent your rivals from claiming nearby panels and catch them off guard by adjusting your landing zone in midair or by performing a hip drop feint.
Hip drop. Hey!
Nintendo. I guess this is also on
Prevent
Switch.
your rivals from claiming your rival. Ooh, this one is interesting.
It's pretty interesting.
Ooh,
Now remember, there's a hip drop feint. You got to include that into your calculation for the
yeah,
score.
I was gonna say 58, but I'm gonna say 63 now.
63. All right, locking it in.
Yep.
Next up, Serial Cleaner on PS4. Slip on your flares, grab your shades, and hop in your station wagon. It's time to go to work. As a professional cleaner for the mob, vacuum up blood, remove bodies, and hide evidence. God, this is terrifying. In this stylish 70s themed 2D stealth action game.
78.
78. Fuck. All right, and then bonus round. I wanted to do the original Pokemon Red
they don't have
and Blue, but there's no fucking Metacritics for it.
Yeah.
So I had to jump to a newer game, Pokemon Fire Red.
Fire Red, Fire Red, Fire Red.
Pokemon Fire Red adds more content and features to one of the first Pokemon games ever released.
Pokemon.
In this Pokemon, in this version of the classic role-playing game, you can collect all the monsters from different Pokemon installments, including Ruby, Sapphire, and Colosseum. Is that a Pokemon game?
Yeah, it was on. Pokemon Colosseum. It's the one where you just fight.
Yeah, but you can't collect Pokemon from that game.
I don't know. Maybe they have different versions.
Anyway, the game comes with a wireless adapter, which lets you connect with your friends' Game Boy Advance to chat, trade Pokemon, and participate in battles.
Wait, this came out on Game Boy Advance?
Other new features include a tutorial mode, a recap system, minigames, and more.
What?
Yeah. Fire Red
came
with
out
Game
on
Boy Advance. You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, it was after Ruby and Sapphire. Okay. I remember I bought this game at Rehoboth Beach when I was hanging out with our buddies Dan and Dane. We went to this store and they had like Fire Red like used for like $20 or something, which is like the cheapest you would ever find it.
Wow.
And I bought it.
Okay.
Didn't play very much of it though.
Well, I'm going to assume that people were happy to go back to such a time-tested classic after the travesty that was Sapphire.
Right. Yes.
So I think that'll bolster reviews a bit. I think Sapphire and Ruby got probably in the low 80s, like 82 to 84. So I think this people see as kind of a masterpiece. Game Boy Advance. Yeah.
One of the greatest handhelds of all time.
Itching for a Pokemon game.
You like to draw this shit out.
89.
89.
But I'm afraid it might be a 92.
You got to give me one number.
I already said 89.
But you're afraid it's going to be 92?
I'm voicing my fears.
All right, locking it in. Well, here we go, Sean. We're about to fucking get real right now.
Get real.
Gonna get so real. All right.
Take your time.
First
Don't
one.
get too real too fast.
Minecraft Story Mode, Season 2. Sean guessed 84. Correct answer is 64.
Jesus.
Ooh,
wow, Jesus,
that is
wow.
a huge difference, Sean.
Wow,
I
that
believe
sucks.
That is going to be a -1.
This is a Telltale game?
Yeah, no.
Oh, are you
It's Minecraft
serious?
Story Mode.
I thought it was the Telltale game.
No, I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what?
I thought
Don't
Minecraft
quote
Story
me on
Mode
that.
was the Telltale version of Minecraft.
Oh, maybe it is.
All right, well.
Okay. Black the Fall. Sean guessed 52. Correct answer is 68. Sean,
All right, I
you
get
did
some
not
points
have
there.
enough faith.
Do I get points?
You get no points. That is a -1. That is an over 10-point difference.
Fuck, a driffin.
A driffin.
Watch out.
Now, this next one, though, is going to get you back on the board.
Hell yeah.
You really nailed this one.
Demambo.
Demambo. Sean guessed
Bada, bada,
72.
Demambo.
Correct answer is 70.
Ooh, I'm good.
So that's within 3. That is 3 points.
3 points.
I'm just going to do a
Three
little
points.
+3 for you here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, Flip Wars. Sean guessed 63. Correct answer is 56. That's not
Not bad.
too far
Not
off.
bad.
What is that? That's 3 + 4. That's within 7. So you're within 9. You get 1 point.
1 point. I like it.
Cereal Cleaner for PS4. Sean guessed 78. Correct answer 71.
Okay.
71. That is within 9.
Rack 'em
You
up.
will get another +1.
Little rack 'em up.
Now, the bonus round. Pokemon
Hey,
Fire
throw me a
Red.
bone. Yes.
Let me throw you the bone. Sean guessed 89.
Yeah.
Correct answer 81.
Okay.
Not great, some would say.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah, you know what others would say? It doesn't really take great to beat Brad.
I think others would have to say it takes amazing.
Cause
to
I
beat
beat
Brad.
your ass.
Sean
I'll beat your
ends
ass
up
at
today
Metacritic.
with, let's see, -1 + 3. That's 1 point. +1.
Yeah, I got 4
so
points.
2, 3, 4 points. Sean gets +4 points today. That puts Sean at a grand total of 7.
Wait, did you get 7 points last time?
Yes, I did,
Damn,
Sean.
that was good.
And I have to tell you, the standings right now, me,
You?
Brad,
Yeah?
I am at 9. Sean is at
Me?
7. Yeah, Sean, you.
Me. Okay.
Me, you.
I'll get you.
You're at 7.
I like to
Now,
stop at prime numbers.
Everybody out there, we haven't heard from you yet. If you're playing along,
no one's
write
playing along,
into
are they?
GameStopPodcast@gmail.com, or even just tweet us what today's score is. You don't have to be like keeping up total. Just see if you beat Sean today. He only got 4 points, and I think that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Someone should be able to beat him.
It was those 2 negatives, man.
Write in GameStopPodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what you got, or tweet at us at GameStuffPod, and let us know. And we're gonna kind of address something that I hear coming along here. What is that?
Get off the tracks.
Sean, we got some mail.
Yeah?
We need to talk about.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's do it.
Sean,
Go. Rapid
this
fire.
first question, Phantom Linger.
Yep, he says, what
from
kind of questions
Reddit.
are you looking for?
Yeah, he says, what kind of questions? What kind
That's
of
his
questions are you looking
question.
for?
Any question, Phantom, whatever.
Yeah, fucking
Also,
just write a question.
he also had a question. It's
he
like
did.
those people that say, like, hey, can I ask you a question?
That is a weird thing because you already asked the question.
Yeah.
Yep. Question answered, or no, question granted. Leave me now.
Yes, leave me. You have one question and you've used
You've
it.
been granted that question. It's over. Goodbye.
Yes, be gone.
Except for Phantom Linger, we're gonna give you a second chance. Because we're still new. We're still getting used to this, and so are you.
You're new. We're all new.
All right.
So here's his real question. What one game do you really want to see released on the Switch?
Okay, this is tough to pick one game, but I'm just gonna give you something. I guess close to now that's come out. I don't know how to talk.
Dude, just give us a game. Just say the name of the game.
I think it would be great to see like one of the Final Fantasy remasters on Switch, like Final Fantasy 12.
Why?
I don't see why that couldn't be on Switch right now.
Yeah, why? Why do you want it?
Because a game like that, like I want to play, I want to be able to take that RPG with me.
Yeah.
It's like a long game where you can invest in hunts.
Didn't you
So
have
it's like-
Final Fantasy X on Vita?
Yeah, it's great on there.
Yeah, how much did you play?
Like 20 hours.
Yeah, how long is that game?
Like 20 hours.
Oh, no, Bradley. You know it's longer than that.
Yeah, dude, I got swamped with Vita games, but I've already
sure.
beaten Final Fantasy X before, so I don't need to beaten it again.
Yeah, well, I've beaten it too, and I went back and I've beaten it up.
Yeah, well, you're a beater.
Beaten it
you
in
do that a lot,
2016.
so, yeah, good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
What game would you want to see on Switch then if you think mine's so fucking wrong?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3. All right, moving on.
All right.
Next question.
Fettinge
Fetty QW. Fetty
from Reddit says, what is the real possibility of buying a Switch with problems? There are a lot of posts about that, but it actually is because people
He's
with,
right.
But does he say, like he actually is
He
answering
said,
the question
he
for
said,
us?
but it's actually because people with perfect switches
Switch
don't
didn't
post or say anything
about it. Okay, first of all, you're right. I have a Switch that works fine so far.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to post about it and be like, my Switch is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need.
Hey guys.
I think you only really post about it when you're pissed off and you bought something that doesn't work.
The funny thing is, there are a lot of people who post exactly that in those threads
true,
where
there are,
someone comes
yeah.
in, "Oh, mine works
Mine is
fine. I haven't
fine.
had that problem at all."
You must be a fucking dumbass.
Which is great. Yeah. What are you doing with your Switch, Fetiquit? But here's a little data point for you.
Okay.
Mine
Add
does
me
have
a
a
data.
problem. The problem is the left Joy-Con disconnects sometimes.
Oh,
so when
yeah.
I'm playing Zelda, I'm walking along a ridge by a cliffside by the ocean,
So you have the left Joy-Con issue.
and I walk right off the fucking cliff.
You know what you should do, though? Honestly, this is 100% serious. I'm not even joking about this. I don't know why.
I feel like
had
he
to
might be
preface
joking.
that.
I feel like he might be joking.
You should just send it back to Nintendo. I've seen a lot of posts where
I
people
will.
say like it takes like a couple days.
Yeah,
and
if
it
they
happens
send me
really
one
quickly.
first, I'll
I
send
don't know
them.
if they'll do that.
Well,
And are you?
But I
even,
play it
you're
so
not-
much.
I was gonna say, your Switch is in, I put my Switch in your dock.
Yeah, you did.
Again, and just left it there
Yeah.
for a couple of days, and you didn't even fucking notice.
you don't have a dock anymore.
I don't have a dock to put a Switch in.
Oh, you peasant.
I think that there's
problems
definitely a
exist.
possibility. There's manufacturing problems. It's going to happen. The Joy-Con issue, Sean has had it. I don't have it. I don't. My Joy-Cons are fine. I even bought another pair of Joy-Cons, and they seem to be
You
okay.
have like 50 Joy-Cons now.
I have 4 Joy-Cons.
Is it Joy-Cons or Joy-Con? Because I think it's plural Joy-Con.
No, I think it's Joy-Cons.
I think it's Joy-Con.
Well, Nintendo, write in.
Yeah, write
Let
in,
us know
Nintendo.
what you think. Next question.
Next question.
Hey,
Who's this
guys.
from? Go up. Read it.
It's from Big
Big
Mama,
Mama
Drama.
Drama.
Oh, dude, I love that name.
I know, it's
That's a
great.
great name. Sean, you read this one.
Hey guys, I'm currently listening to the first episode.
Why does he sound like
No,
this? What
he's
is-
probably really.
I
he's
think
got
he
a
sounds
low
really
voice.
handsome.
Hey guys.
Or wait, it's Big Mama. So It could be a female.
Hey guys.
Remember Big Mama from Fox and the Hound?
No.
You don't remember Big Mama, the big owl?
No.
Oh,
now I do. I know that it's an owl,
Yeah.
and now I remember.
Yeah, Big Mama.
I watched that movie like once when I was.
Oh, dude, you fucked up. That
baby.
movie's great. Go on.
Hey guys, currently
Big
listening to
Mama.
the first episode.
How you doing?
Well-produced show. I'm digging it so far.
Oh,
Thank
thanks,
you. Thank you.
dude. Or, I mean, shit. Big Mama. I keep
Yeah,
saying
Big
dude.
Mama
It's
drama.
probably a girl. I
Well,
don't know.
dude is agnostic. I'm a full-time game dev whose life is also consumed with gaming, so this podcast is right up my alley.
Oh, awesome. A fellow game dev. Hello.
Do you also like stuff?
Oh, does he talk about
I would
stuff?
hope that he does.
Does he develop games and talk about stuff? Because he's in fucking direct
He might just
competition
be
with
one of
us,
those
and we
game
might have
guys.
to take him down.
Here's a question for you guys. You have both worked for a lot of companies. Are there any companies that you want to work for? Are there any dream companies? Thanks.
Oh, okay. This is a good question. So
Everyone's got them. Everyone's got their dream companies.
we have dream companies. So what's interesting is that, like, it's true. We have worked at a bunch of companies, and we've seen kind of a wide range of what's available or what's out there as far as developers
Yeah.
in the game industry. And, you know, can't honestly say now, after what I've seen so far, that there's like some place I really want to work for at the moment. Like that
Yeah.
would be a dream company. Like
Yep.
Respawn Entertainment. I mean, this is going to sound like a fucking sales pitch, but it's a fucking awesome company. It is everyone says this, the most talented people in the industry.
Yeah.
Obviously.
They're everywhere.
Obviously. Yeah. Really, it's a great place that establishes like a family culture that
Why are you karate chopping my
I
mic?
don't know why I'm doing that. I'm like, it establishes a culture that feels like a family. It is an awesome creative environment. They take care of their employees really well, and I just feel totally comfortable there. Well, every day I go to work, I feel like I'm just kind of almost like I'm hanging out at home. It feels super comfortable. I love the stuff that we're doing. And I couldn't really imagine jumping anywhere else. I mean, I've had the opportunity to go to a place that I thought would, like, for my entire life growing up. I'm not going to name names, but I thought that this place was my dream. I thought it was the end location for me. I thought it was like, that was my dream company.
Scary Cat Studios.
Yeah. And I had the opportunity to work there. I was offered a job, and I cannot express enough how fucking appreciative I was for that opportunity and all the people that I met going through that. But at the end of the day, like, all I could think about was like, I'm so happy where I am. I really don't know if I can uproot myself from Respawn. So I didn't. At the end of the day, I stayed with Respawn, and I don't regret it in any way. So I feel like Respawn is kind of my dream company right now. That might change. That might change in a couple years. Maybe I want to just get a change of scenery or something, but I don't know.
Maybe Star Wars
I
won't
love
be
where I
a
am.
cool enough project
Yeah.
to work on.
And that's the thing. Like, hey, Big Mama Drama, Respawn's hiring a lot. If you are interested, we would love to have you.
Yeah, well, guess what, Big Mama Drama? There's another kid in town. Riot Games.
The new kid in town.
And yeah.
Wait, who's newer, Riot or Respawn? Respawn, probably. Respawn's the new kid.
When did you guys? Oh, we released in 2010, so we're definitely older.
So, we're the new kid in town. You're the old kid.
Well,
Ew, no one likes the old kid.
You know, Respawn's
He's
kind
in
of
jail.
a new up and coming. Well, up and coming is, I guess,
Yeah.
a strong term for
We're
it.
still coming.
They're a newer studio, a lot of chaos, a lot of upheaval. Like, I don't know, they might not have legs.
I
Riot
think we
Games
got
has been
legs.
around for at least 2 years longer.
Oh my god.
So you've got a job forever.
Well,
No.
but you're happy where you are too, right?
Yeah, so it's interesting seeing a bunch of different perspectives because there are game companies that I would not want to work for if given the option.
Yeah.
But I would do it anyway.
Right. You like change.
I'm not even saying that. Like, I'm super happy at Riot, and it's an awesome place. And it's honestly what I love about it is that you get pushed. Like, you are constantly growing, and you're out of your comfort zone, and you're expected to move on and do bigger and better things.
Yeah.
And that's just such a cool environment to be in that a lot of companies lack.
Yeah.
Not even just in the
And
game industry.
like a similar thing to that about Respawn is that you're responsible for so much because we're such a fucking lean, mean team. Like, we shipped Titanfall 1 with like 70 people or something like that, and then Titanfall 2 was like maybe around 100, and like we're competing or trying to compete against development teams that are upwards of like 500 people. And so we don't have a lot of that overhead. It's a lot of like, you gotta really kick ass and kind of take a lot of responsibility, because there's not necessarily someone watching you over your shoulder making sure you get everything done.
Yeah.
And that freedom and that like that sense of like, it's self responsibility and pushing yourself, and the growth there is really amazing.
Yeah, the autonomy that doesn't exist at a lot of places that are really hierarchical is so refreshing. And also in an environment where you are autonomous and there's good feedback culture where someone can come up to you and just say like, hey, that wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Or I think we need to shift direction and go this way.
Yeah.
It's just such a healthier environment to work in.
Exactly. Totally.
And I think a lot of companies lack that. And so I used to think that I wanted to work at BioWare. I used to think that I wanted to work at Naughty Dog, all these other companies that I know have more traditional work culture. And honestly, I would still love to work for other companies in my lifetime.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think there are drawbacks, and there's a give and take. There are pluses and minuses, and you really have to just consider that.
We've ended up at studios that are really, really good to their employees, and that's hard to leave. That's hard to think of going somewhere else. I mean, I think we're at a good spot right now, and I think my dreams and aspirations lie a bit more in my responsibilities and like what role I could take on working on a game project, more so than, what studio do I want to be at?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that's great about both of our studios is you can do side projects.
Yeah, exactly.
When we were at EA,
look at us right now. We're hanging out right now, making a podcast about games, shit talking things, and just having a good time. And like, most studios wouldn't let us get anywhere near a microphone.
Yeah, and I know at EA, when you create something, they own it automatically, and it has such a wide breadth. Like, it's not even just games.
Sony's the same way.
Yeah, and it's kind of bullshit. It's honestly
it sucks
ridiculous.
that they kind of stifle your creative freedom outside of your work environment. Like, it's Respawn's really, really lax about it, as long as it's not a direct competition with what.
And that makes sense. There have to be
what we're creating.
Yeah, there has to be some
okay
sort of
with it.
guideline there.
Like, you couldn't go out and work on a first-person shooter on your side time, like, because that would be a direct competition to Titanfall. And you know what? Honestly, I feel like, Vince is so chill about it. Like, if he saw it and he was like, "There's no way this is going to compete with Titanfall," he probably wouldn't care anyways. But still, I mean, like, as long as you're just sticking to something that's different enough, it's great. It's great. I think it's really important to keep your creative outlet outside of work going.
Yeah,
because it's easy to get into this mode where you just go to work and you do something all day and then you never do anything outside of it. And that's easy.
And then you die.
And then you die. And that's especially tough because when you're doing something creative all day, every day, it can be really exhausting. And it's hard to get that started up to do a side project. Like, even doing this podcast, it's hard. Like, when I went on vacation for 2 weeks, when we came back, we were like, should we keep doing it?
Yeah.
Because we stopped and we lost the momentum. But it's really fun to do, and it's like something so different than what we do every day that, like, it's a cool creative outlet for us to kind of think of ideas and just have fun talking into a microphone for a while.
And hopefully it makes us better at something that we can apply to our work.
Exactly.
And I think when I look at other companies, the two things I care about are, one, how do they treat their customers? And so are players of the games treated as players, or are they treated as dollar signs and stats?
Right.
And then number two, and for Riot, like, that is our entire mission is to be the most player focused gaming company.
Right.
And so that's
right behind Respawn.
Okay. That's so important in any industry, I think.
Totally.
I mean, maybe there are some where you can get away with doing it the wrong way, but honestly, like, you need the relationships with your customers to be strong.
Yeah.
And it just makes so much more sense. It makes everything easier because you can look at a decision and say, is that the best thing for players?
Yeah.
And if it's not, fucking throw it away because it's not the right decision.
And that's a great mindset.
That's awesome. You can use that to ground yourself and to, like, align teams around a mission, which usually is a bunch of bullshit and is really hard to follow and no one remembers it.
Yeah.
It has to be something that you feel deep down inside. It has to be something like, this is the reason I got into games, because I'm a gamer. This is the reason I want to work in games.
Yeah, exactly. They're like my favorite thing on the planet.
And if I were to go join some other company that makes bikes or laptops or, like, saves the environment, I would want that same focus on the people that they're helping.
Exactly. That you would be the same way about it. Like, and that passion is just like what makes you, like, you want to present, like, the best possible product and interaction with the people who are getting whatever it is you're making.
And there are two sides to it. There's praise. There are players saying, I love this. And there are players telling you, hey, there's a problem. And sometimes they tell you by saying, fuck you, you're the fucking worst, go kill yourself, get cancer.
About it.
But
There's usually a point there.
Yeah, if you have the right relationship, you can at least cobble together the pieces and figure out what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And then the number 2 is I like to look at companies that are kind of at the top of their game and who are doing something really interesting and who are operating like what we say at Riot is we're a sports team.
Right.
And I like that mentality where you come to work to kick ass and do something that maybe you didn't think you could do.
That's actually really cool because that also makes me think of like how after every game, like you give high fives to the other team, like even if they just kicked your ass, you know?
Yeah.
Like I like that mentality because that's how I think what people on the outside don't see is that game development companies are not hostile to each other in any way. Like I think people think that like, oh, Respawn, they released Titanfall around Call of Duty and like Battlefield and all this shit and like Destiny and all these things, and they're like, oh man, like they must be enemies. But no, we fucking love those guys.
Yeah.
We love those guys. We love those games. We all play each other's games and get inspired by it.
Yep.
And like that is that sports team mentality of like, yeah, we're a sports team, but at the end of the day, even though we're competing against these other people, we have respect for them and we
And you can
like,
do
we
better
love
by
what they do.
studying them.
Yeah.
You can watch their plays.
Totally.
And learn from that. And I think it's interesting being in games, and I've worked at some restaurants way early on, and I worked at the Apple store, which is they actually have some really similar philosophies.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool learning
We should
grounds for
do a
lot of
story
that.
time episode just on like all of our jobs. We
Yeah,
had at some
yeah.
point. That would be awesome.
But I think a lot of this stuff applies outside of the games industry, and if I were to look for a job outside, I would be looking for the same exact thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that that about wraps up that question for you there, Big Mama Drama.
Big Mama Drama.
Awesome question. Thank you
questions,
for
guys.
writing in and asking that. I think that kind of just brings us to the end of the show.
Yeah.
This has been Game Stuff, episode 10.
Episode 10.
10 episodes in. I think, we recorded like 4 that we didn't release. So this is kind of like our, I don't know, like 3-month anniversary, 4 months. Have we been doing it that long?
Really? Have we?
Fuck, it's been a long time. Yeah.
I've been playing D&D as well, and I'm so up in the air. Like sometimes I don't like it,
Yeah.
and then sometimes something really cool happens. And
And
I'm
you
like,
love
oh,
it.
this is sweet.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, this is way too nerdy.
Yeah.
But I was talking to my DM, and he brought up that we've been playing for like 7 months, and I was like, oh my god,
That's a long time.
I've been playing this every week or almost every week for
Yeah.
7 months.
Dude, that's nuts. So guys, Game Stuff, we've been doing this for like 3.5 months. We're like on all the platforms now.
Yeah.
We're on iTunes.
Everything.
We're on Stitcher. We're on
Stitcher.
Google Play. We're not on Spotify yet. That's actually one thing we haven't done. We should look into that.
You can be on Spotify.
You can be on Spotify.
Okay.
But
Well, we're
guys,
also looking into YouTube.
Follow us. Yeah, follow us on all those platforms. If you think we should be on YouTube, we think we should too. We just keep being lazy about it.
Well, and it's honestly like how many people will actually
Yeah.
use that over another platform. So if you would, then
Yeah.
let us know.
Guys, please, if you're listening, rate and review us on iTunes. We're trying to get a featured spot from them. We
beg of you.
We beg you. That would just help so much. It would just be awesome. Like, just take 5 seconds to just go to iTunes, go to Game Stuff Podcast, leave like a 1-word review. Yeah, you can write more if you want, but at least 1 word would be great. And you can also write into us at GameStuffPodcast@gmail.com. You can write in questions, feedback. You can call us out on things that we said that maybe were wrong. We're usually pretty right.
That's not going to happen.
So, but anyway,
Try and find
guys,
it.
it's been an awesome show. Glad to have you hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
Hey, guys! I'm not going to go that way.
Hey.
Start over. You're eating beef jerky.